A new decade has begun, and America finds itself more divided than ever. Politics are often brought up in a negative way through heated debates, and it becomes harder to find that middle ground between Democrats and Republicans. Could there be unity? Let's find out from the minds of a liberal and a conservative. This is the Divided States of America.
I am a Democrat, and I'm definitely for having a country that has different points of view. I feel that I'm a Democrat because I really think it's the social responsibility of everyone to take care of the needs of everyone in our society.
I guess you can call me a Democrat, considering there's Democrats and Republicans right now. I would think I would fall a little farther than, say, what the Democratic Party has put out for candidates lately.
No surprise, I agree with the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is unrecognizable from what it used to be. Because I don't believe that government should have so much of a say in intervention in the day-to-day lives of the American people. This country was founded on people being able to autonomously move throughout the country and do what they need to do without the government coming in and over-regulating and overseeing everything that people do and hobbling, people's ability to make a life for themselves. I'm a big reader. I read a lot of articles. I am part of different groups of people that gather information from reliable sources, stuff that isn't always available very easily through regular internet sources.
I bounce around, I guess, between CNN, MSNBC.
I watch different news channels, talk to different people. As a teacher, I'm always talking to different teachers in the teacher's room, and I try to be well-rounded and listen to all sides on a topic. Joe Biden, I think he's doing a great job. He's for the people, he listens to people, he's trying to band the country together.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised that he was able to get many things done, relating to helping boost up the economy, as far as gun laws, as much as he could, despite, Congress and the Senate kind of being against him in some cases. But I think he was able to get a lot done with a small majority in Congress and the Senate. At the beginning, I wasn't that happy, only because he's a moderate Democrat and he's a lifetime politician. But he surprised me. For somebody who's as old as he is, I'm really happy with him right now.
I think historically, I don't think that he's a really great person. He's been a lifelong politician. I don't love politicians. He's done some pretty seedy stuff. He's a pretty corrupt guy, him and his family. But I think he also has like a good side to him too. That's like I always see the good in people. I think that he has a good side, a good heart to him. Should that make him president? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's making a mess, and I don't think that it's him that's doing it. I just think that he is just the person that they're pulling the strings. It's very sad that they're using him as a pawn, as a person in healthcare, as a person in medicine. I can see that he is 100% not in a space where he should be the most powerful person in the world. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. I think Donald Trump did an exceptional job as far as running the country and the planet, truly. Globally, we had world peace for 4 years under Donald Trump. Like, literally for 4 years, everything was a well-oiled machine.
The man, he's always been a joke. He just really drove this country into the ground. If he was president for another 4 years, who knows if we would have a democracy anymore. He's not a good businessman, the guy's went bankrupt I don't know how many times. There really hasn't been a Republican who has won the popular vote for president since probably George Bush Sr. Unfortunately, we have the Electoral College. We have what's, gerrymandering. That has really kind of been the only way that Republicans have been able to win anything. Donald Trump says I'm all about winning, but he really does a lot of losing.
I truly believe that raising the minimum wage to $15 would level the playing field for families that are just trying to make enough money.
I was like, that's crazy, because every small business will be put under. I own a small business, so I put myself in that position. If I had to pay all of my employees, all my low-level employees, $15 an hour, when I have an entry-level person, a 16-year-old kid that I want to give a job to, that I want to help out and give them their first job and give them their training, I can't afford to pay that $15 an hour. My business will go under.
There's no way that you can have rent these days and food and gas and actually live with anything less than $15 an hour.
Definitely. I mean, when you find out how low the minimum wage is in certain parts of the country, particularly like down south, it's crazy. Even though the standard of living is lower, to have somebody make $7.50 an hour, it's just crazy. The amount of that it's actually been raised over the last 10, 20 years has been really minuscule when it comes to certain areas of the country.
And unfortunately, so many kids went into college and they have so much college debt that a lot of kids now don't want to go into college because of the debt. And by raising the minimum wage, they could at least be able to support their family and themselves and have a productive life.
Obviously, being a liberal, I've always been pro-choice. The Supreme Court back in the 70s made the decision that it was a privacy issue and that a woman should really have control over her own body. And unfortunately, it's usually a group of, where it's 90% plus men who are making these decisions as politicians. The fact that it was kind of flipped back over to the states, it makes it more difficult if you're in what's called, a red state now. If you live down in Florida or you live down in Texas, or a place like that, you don't have enough money to kind of travel to get an abortion, particularly if the nearby states around you have outlawed abortion, especially like the ones that decide, let me outlaw abortion for both even rape and incest, or the, safety of the mom.
It was very disappointing. I think it should be the woman's choice. It's her body, it's her mind, and it's her future. So many women get into situations, whether it's a healthy birth, whether it's a complicated birth, and I really feel that it's a personal decision. Unfortunately, when too many hats get thrown into the ring, I think the message out there gets a little bit messy, and I really feel that it should be the woman's choice.
I am pro-life to an extent. If they're able to find that there is some disease or something that the child is going to not live past a certain point without having severe deformity and illness and suffrage in its life. And this is something that they can address at a very, very early stage before the developmental process happens. So I do not believe that it should be used as a method of birth control. I do not believe second, third trimester abortions. They have these partial birth abortions. Are you kidding me? Not okay at all. So, I think that there is a very, very small window and a very small amount of criteria that it would be allowed, and that's for the betterment of the child's life, as far as the quality of the child's life.
I just think that once Trump came into office, he just kind of took advantage of that. He just kind of saw, okay, how can I use these divisions to my advantage? So he decided to kind of throw bombs and into the political arena, and just cause more and more division, and then just always blaming the other side.
we're divided for different reasons. I don't think there is not a specific thing that is happening in this country that is dividing us. I think outside entities have way too much influence on our government. China has a really big influence on our country because we are the superpower of the world. And if you take the superpower down by divide and conquer, it's exactly what's happening. So I think now we're having these outside influences, these outside entities that are pulling the strings, that are making all of this division happen.
I do blame the mass media for getting Trump in office to begin with. The real culprits that continue are Fox News or any other right-wing network that tries to go even farther right than Fox. And stuff that's spewing out of their mouth, it's garbage.
I just think with all of social media and everything on the news showing that you have to belong to one side or the other, the left versus the right, instead of it being a United States, which ironically spells us, US, and to me, the us is the most important. It's going to take a well-spoken individual or a few individuals to really look at the best policies from the left, the best policies from the right, and to really entice people to bring them together.
The parties have become so polarized where I feel like they're just to try to flex on the other party. They always like upping it, like just making it that much worse, you know? And then they rally the weak-minded people. If the government and the country was a household, I think everybody needs to be grounded.
You know, it's up to you guys. I'm handing the reins over to you. I mean, my generation, I may have hopefully 2 or 3 more decades left, but it's up to the youth now to kind of fill in the gaps and try to, fix some of the mess that we created.
I think both parties have to be accountable, and I think that we will come to middle ground on certain things, but I think healthy debate is what our democracy is all about. If we always just got along, we would never hear the other side, but I think hearing the other side and being respectful is the missing piece. I think respect and looking at the public good is what our country really needs. It needs to be a united us.